Here's a royalty-free poem about pens I found online today. Mightier than the sword. Pen is much mightier than the sword. A great quote, well said. Eternally mightier, the pen of the writer. Till infinity, the pen remains a fighter. The pen understands so well the human pain, scribbles them into words of emotion for no gain. One bullet may be sufficient for one, but one word from the pen motivates the millions. Pen is an eternal friend of society. The ink is like blood of the human poetry. The poetic words give a human touch and feel. The human touch just knows how to heal. The gravity of the wound no matter. Get well soon, however, when the world bleeds in blood. Let the ink just replace the blood. Let the words just flood with poetries of love in place of the blood. Oh hey, glad you came back. My name's lowqualitynut, and today we're going to be talking about one of the most fascinating and influential objects of human history, the humble pen, or in German, Kugelschreiber. And now, all of those syllables for just pen has been around for centuries. Simple, yet elegant. I often find that the written word is often the most powerful. Writing is a manifestation of our thoughts and allows us to convey emotions, write logs of communication, or keep history for generations to come. Written language first arose with the rise of the Sumerians in the 13th century, an ancient culture famously fond of a certain hoppy beverage, something I'm a little less fond of, but enough about me. Sumerians wrote using reed instruments and indenting into clay, which would later evolve into hieroglyphics in Egypt. Following the invention of papyrus, a woven parchment-like material from strips of the cypress papyrus plant, and with an ink made of brightly colored minerals ground into powder, minerals such as corunupine or chrysoprase. You know Ernest Becker's quote, "What man really fears is not so much extinction, but extinction with insignificance." Maybe that's why all of humanity's greatest inventions were created, perhaps in an effort to combat the inventors' feelings that they were insignificant in a global and universal picture. Yet, in 3,000 years, none of us will be remembered, because the likelihood that we will create something as significant as paper or the pen is unlikely. And even if we do, it will be forgotten in the annals of history. But then again, maybe our purpose in life is to create our own fulfilling destiny. Oh, what do I know? Back to the history of the pen. In Egypt, this is where we find the first instance of a proper pen, using a dip and write strategy similar to that used with quill pens. With this new invention, famous works of art such as the story of Sinhu, talking about a man who fled after the death of a pharaoh, potentially being one of the first historic novels and can be described as an epic, was created. In 5 CE,
5 CE, led to the emergence of quill pens, using a dip and write strategy similar to that used with quill pens. With this new invention, famous works of art such as the story of Sinhu, talking about a man who fled after the death of a pharaoh, potentially being one of the first historic novels and can be described as an epic, was created. In 5 CE, led to the emergence of quill pens,
which was made using the primary feathers of a bird's wing, which was hardened in hot sand and then split at the tip. Used for more than 1,000 years, or approximately 142.8571 average ferret lifetimes. It even wrote the Declaration of Independence, which led to a country that has been unified for 234 years, even though 2 of its states don't observe daylight savings time. This brings us to modern-day pens, which perform the same basic function as earlier pens, but are easier to create, produce, and maintain. Here's a short video about some pens that I like. As technology progresses, it's crazy to think that we have more computing power in our hands than it took to take us to the moon. But I don't know about you guys. I think this little guy still has a proper place in society. Thank you for watching.